Indian baddies. Fix all of your life problems. Trash. Heaven and earth. Like, is it really that dirty? You will get food poisoning and... Namaste guys, I'm a Slavic girl living in India. This is actually my first video and I'm super excited. There are some types of videos you've probably seen on TikTok or YouTube about Indian baddies. People act so shocked when they find out that Indian people can be attractive and modern and just in general have normal lives.
Craziest part was the comment section in each of these videos. Like anyone would, we had mixed feelings about these comments because people were like, oh, we did not realize India had such baddies. India has such game, we did not know this. And we were shocked because what do you mean? We kind of get it. India does not have TikTok, so the perception of India has always been controlled by media that is not Indian. But what do you mean? India has always had cool people. We've always had stylish, stunning people.
At the same time, on one side of internet, you can see content which show India only through poverty and trash. On the other side, I bet you saw these videos where India portrayed it like some kind of heaven and earth which is supposed to fix all of your life problems magically. And many times these kind of videos are done for views. Let's be honest, neither of those is real. So today I want to talk to you about reality, not as a tourist, but as a person who has been living in India for almost a year now, in Indian family and interacting with Indian people of different generations almost every day. I thought that the best thing I can do for this country is to make this video. So here are some truths and myths about modern India. I feel like one of the most popular questions people ask about India, like, is it really that dirty? I feel like every country has neglected areas, places with trash, homeless people, or poor infrastructure. In the States, in Europe, anywhere in any country, you just go to that area where homeless people live, where you can see trash. Start recording videos and saying that, oh my god, what happened to this country? Why is it like this? The difference is people go and intentionally record those areas because this type of videos get views. I think that's something that we should question, like why is it socially accepted to portray India in a bad light compared to other countries? Another thing I would like to add is that Indian culture is not really focused on showing off. So if people have beautiful houses, beautiful neighborhood, beautiful city, they are not so focused on recording that and posting it online. Another stereotype is that most of Indian people are unattractive. And from my experience, I can name at least one Indian person who is attractive. And that's my husband. But seriously, India is one of the countries that has won the most Miss World and beauty pageant titles in the world. For me, Indian women are incredibly beautiful and really diverse, from dark skin to light skin and everything in between. Like, I follow so many Indian influencers and they are so beautiful. But even outside of social media, everyday Indian women are stunning as well. Big, super expressive eyes, thick lashes and eyebrows, beautiful long hair, strong and elegant figures. So no, the idea that Indian people are all unattractive is false. Stereotype number 3, India is extremely unsafe for women. This is a really sensitive topic, and of course there are some areas in India where you shouldn't go, but it's the same with all countries. Even tourists avoid certain places, but it's not about being a tourist or being a woman, it's just about common sense. I personally know so many women living in India and just having normal lives.
I think safety in India depends place to place. Yeah, one thing for sure, I would not walk around outside after like 9 or 10 alone. But other than that, I think if you're going to public places like malls or stores, it's pretty much safe. But whenever I go out, someone has to know my location, whether be it parents or my friends. I had been lucky to never encounter some kind of misbehavior from anyone. But yeah, instances where I would go out and then after I come back, I would receive a message on social media. Some person would say that I saw you there. To my face, no one came and said anything. But again, I would suggest to all the women that you maintain the safety measures because it's always better to prevent some kind of hurtful incident.
Living there, going out, dressing as they want to. Should you be careful at night? Of course, but that applies to many countries.
I feel like South India is just safer in general for women because a lot more people speak English in South India. But Delhi, which I've also lived in, is a whole nother story. And I have many of times where I felt very, very unsafe, even in like the most conservative of outfits. My advice, you have to find your community here. The vendor that's outside your complex, all the security guards, they're always going to look out for you. Everybody in your complex knows your name. They know where you live. They know where you stay. This is a very community-based place to live. And especially coming from the US, that is a little bit of an adjustment. But I also grew up in Mexico, so very similar between Mexico and India. I think as foreigners, we have a little bit of privilege when we walk, like everybody's staring. So the odds of something happening to us is very unlikely, just from a statistic standpoint. But yeah, I mean, I love living in India, and I think being able to handle yourself, handle situations. Men are a big reason that India has the reputation that it has. And I think the younger generations are getting educated about it. I mean, we're in the age of social media, so these taboo conversations are being had more, which is really important.
Also, if you're a foreigner, you will get attention. I lived in China for several years and people stared at me every single day. Attention not always mean danger.
I generally feel great in India. I honestly don't really go alone without my husband much, but if I do, I keep my pepper spray with me. But in general, in Goa, I would say situation, especially in the South Goa, where I live, pretty safe. Locals are very chill, but yeah, sometimes I do get stared at and I feel some kind of weird stares from men too. If I'm with my husband, everything's okay, so I feel protected. When I was in Mumbai, for example, compared to a big city like St. Petersburg, where I'm from, I also felt okay, especially in metro. I love that there are some separate cars for women, so I can always choose to be in a general car with everyone or in a women's car, which we don't get in Russia, sadly. And in Russia, actually, I feel a little bit more unease or unsafe at times, especially at night. But in India, I feel great, I would say.
So India is not especially unsafe. It's just complex like any big country. Stereotype number 4. If you eat street food, you will get food poisoning and let's be realistic. If you eat from a suspicious vendor in an empty street with no customers, extremely cheap food, that's risky anywhere in the world. You wouldn't do that in your country either. Also, some people might confuse food poisoning with something else. Bacteria there might be different from bacteria which are already known by your stomach, so you get kind of sick. I heard many people who visited Bali in the first couple of days, many of them get food poisoning, but it's not because it's food poisoning. It's mostly because different bacteria in water, where you either drink tap water or not bottled water, you use ice or you wash your fruits in water. Another important point is that Indians use a lot of spices. For many foreigners, it's just simply not something they used to. For example, for me, I have never tried masala in my life until I came here. That doesn't mean food is dirty. That means your body needs time to adjust. Of course, it's everybody's personal experience, and you also should be able to listen to your body. Don't let the situation get out of hands. So India is not perfect and not for everybody, but it's not what extreme internet content shows. If you have some questions, doubts, or some stereotypes you heard online, ask. It's better to ask and learn than believe misinformation. You can leave these questions or topics that you would like me to talk about in the next video in the comment section, or send it on my email. This is just the beginning.